how I make the envelope system work for me. Hi travellers, I'm Anne's daughter Laleka and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, please consider subscribing as I post new videos every week about some of my travel as I live and work abroad, and some of the tips featured in the clips could help you with your future travel adventure. I've been watching a few YouTube clips on budgeting and how I can do better with my money, so that's inspired me to think to do my own take on this in terms of living and working abroad and what do you do with the money that you make and how you can manage it. Because I live in China and there's one bank account which is tied to your WeChat account. I'll talk about WeChat a little bit later. When you come here, an admin person will go with you to the bank to open an account. As I'm still a cash-based person, I still withdraw cash because I find it easier to help me manage my money. And this is not news at all that if you have cash, then you will spend less than rather it's with the card. And now WeChat has taken it a step further. You don't even have the card, you just have your phone. So I wonder if it's the same. I don't know if studies have been done about that, but I'm going to assume that it has the same. You don't even notice that it's gone, in the same way that handing over money, that's so painful. Anyway, so how do I manage it? So we get paid monthly here, which coming from New Zealand and having worked abroad in Australia before is a huge jump for me. We used to get paid fortnightly, so a month is such a long time for me personally to wait. I wish I was one of those people that could just go swipe, worry about it later, but alas, I want to save up and pay for it. Monthly pays a bit of a struggle personally. I wish it was fortnightly, and so that's where I've been using the envelope system. I started doing this envelope system in Korea, and you can tell because these are envelopes from Korea because they just have them at ATM machines there. Like, that's such lovely service. You know, I'm getting cash out, I need to put it somewhere, and I've just gone along and labeled them so that I know what's happening. This is how I make the envelope system work for me. I have two clips of envelopes, and so this is one that I keep sort of out, and this one is more for bigger savings that are outside of the country. Like, I'm not usually going to be tapping into this, or if I do, it's much more infrequently than on a weekly basis. You'll notice on the front of my weekly stash of envelopes that I actually have my little budget drawn out on a post-it. I know some people prefer to do it in spreadsheets and whatever, but I am I keep it as simple as I can, and this is even written in pen because I've decided now this is like the fixed amount I can work with in this budget. When I first moved here, I had it in pencil because I kept making adjustments. I use the envelope system to help organize my budget. I am not great with working with one account. When I used to live in Australia, of course my wages would go into the ATM card, and then I would move them to different online accounts, and I labeled them for specific purposes. So then what's left on my ATM card is what I have for the fortnight. I find it much harder to do here because it's an extra 2 weeks, or sometimes it's 3 weeks, which is the reason why I have 5 envelopes, because some months are 4 weeks and some months are 5 weeks. I will still, regardless, put in an amount for each. And for me, I consider it a bonus when the month only has 4 weeks, because it means that this amount in week 5 is going towards whatever savings goal I have. So, woohoo, I'm not going to spend it. I will get out 3,500 RMB at the beginning of each month. This is the biggest note that you can get in China, and just is what spits out of the ATM. So I've decided that each week I'm going to spend 500 RMB. That's my budget. And you know, things change all the time, but sort of I've worked out sort of roughly that should see me through the week. I'll do this once a month after I get paid. In terms of getting paid, it's great because the banking system's set up here that you have to give them your cell phone number, and you get a text message on your cell phone to say it's been deposited. So you're like, yes, we've been paid. Great, great, great. Doing it this way for me, every Sunday I grab out this stash of envelopes and say we're in week 2 of the month. Then I'll go to week 2 and on a Sunday I'll grab out, here's my weekly allowance that I've set myself, my weekly budget, and I will carry 500 RMB in my wallet. At that moment I also take out anything from my wallet that's still left from week 1 and I will put it back into the week 1 envelope. It just needs to do food and any other sort of incidentals that I want to spend. Our accommodation is taken care of. I'll link in the description box below the tour of my apartment, because that's included as part of our contract. So we don't have any living expenses or utilities as part of living here. It's a benefit of living here, of choosing to live and work abroad. I'm also very fortunate because our work gives us work cell phones. I think that's a great benefit because I can use the minutes and the data that's on there for my own personal use. So that's great as well, and another expense that's covered. Really, 500 just has to do food. And if I chose to eat Chinese food entirely for the week, which is possible, then this is a lot more than I need. Even if I had 3 meals a day out, that's well more than enough. That's how I end up with change at the end of the week if I chose to eat Chinese meals, 3 meals a day. I'm going to put in the description box below how you can eat cheaply by eating Chinese food. And that's where I tend to fall apart, is because I want Western food sometimes. And it costs more. It's imported Metro. And Metro is a foreign supermarket. So you know that food costs more because it's Metro. And you know what it tastes like. And I can get some mainland cheese from New Zealand. I've worked out 500 is plenty for me. I would say I more often than not have change at the end of the week than I don't. Also covers the cost of going to get my hair washed, so I choose to do that. It's in the same way that some girls like to get their nails done. I like to get my hair washed and straightened, and they do a crackerjack job. I pay 29 RMB to just get my hair washed and straightened, and saves me a job, and I love them. They are such lovely people, and my hairdressers. I think deciding between needs and wants really comes into how much you would choose to put in your envelope system. So 500 RMB per week, so that's going to be 2,500 across the whole month. I also get out 500 RMB for taxis. Winter is long in the north of China, so I'm not going to be riding my e-bike. I sort of have a bit of a radius around work and my apartment of how far I'll go. You will say that's not enough, and that's totally fine. Please put in the comments below what you think I've overlooked. But with the rest of my pay, because that's not all I get paid, then I have other categories. And it would be the same as if I lived at home as well. I choose to categorize my money, and this is where I want it to go. This is my second lot of envelopes. I have savings for my house, because I think you're supposed to have a house. As I live abroad, I'm like, so I buy a house that I'm not going to live in, but it's because that's what you're supposed to do. I do better with this. I have retirement, which of course I have to save for. Transport, okay, so that's where my taxi money sits. And the most important for me, holiday savings, because I always want to go on holiday. The actual envelopes is great because I can write on the envelope how much is in here and how much I've put in. For me, it's just nice to go, oh my goodness, it's going up. Now the separate categories, I have a set amount that I put in each month, except holiday. I'll do why. But with these, I already know a certain percentage of my take-home pay is going into my retirement. A set percentage is going into housing saving. There's so many different financial gurus that you can follow. If you like American ones, like Susie Orman, or Dave Ramsey also has a great pathway. There's so many different people, and whoever you choose to follow, then they will have different recommendations. What do I do at the end of the month, though, you ask? I'm back to my weekly envelopes, plus my transport one. And any money that I have left in the envelopes, because remember on a Sunday I've taken out the next week's and put it in, and taken out any leftovers and put it back in the week that it belongs to. So at the end of the month when I've gotten paid, I'll take half an hour or whatever it is after I get back from the ATM withdrawing my money, and I will take this out, and usually it goes into holiday savings, but it depends. Everybody has their own priorities. If it's paying back your student loan, any other credit card debt that you have at home, whatever it is that you are throwing money at to make it either go away if it is debt, or to go on a holiday like myself, that surplus goes to. And because life happens, some weeks, of course, I have nothing. Or I'll have a few I'll have a few coins. That's how I get rid of the ones, is buying breakfast. So why don't I use WeChat? Because my brain can't figure out the math. I can't, and especially over the course of a month. Yes, I could write it down, but I am just, I can't make it work for me. WeChat is everywhere in China, and it is the way to pay for things. Cash is going out. Of course, it'd be so much easier if I did. But would I spend more? For me, I think I would, because I don't know that then I've overspent. Because there's only one account, and I can't remember how much is in, how much I've put for a holiday, how much I've put for retirement. When I'm making those decisions at the grocery store going, have I overspent? I can't remember what else is there, so I'd rather take it out to just not even have it. I'm going to do a separate video on sending money home. It provides some challenges in China, so please check out the description box below for that. The system is a bit different when you live abroad, because some of those big costs, like the mortgage or the rent, they don't exist. And so you sort of have more to play with, but I still find categorizing it is the best way, and then I will still come out having saved some money from living abroad. You can do it too. It's also not that hard. I'm not scrambling. As I say, some weeks 500 doesn't cut it, and it just seems to sort of fly out the door. Yeah, I've certainly not felt unsafe. Like, it is quite a wad that you're withdrawing from the ATM. I've never had anyone follow me. I've never felt unsafe. Admittedly, I do go during daylight hours. Bank of China is on Zhongshanlu, which is a very busy road. I'll link in the description below the video to Zhongshanlu, so you probably see Bank of China as I'm whizzing past on my e-bike. Just put your ideas in the comments below of how you keep your living costs low while living abroad.